Yo, what is up, chat? How's everyone doing? Hopefully you were enjoying that nice calm music. Let me put it down at a lower rate so we can still hear it, but not so it's too overbearing. That way we have some good background music going on while we're charting and talking about all our trades and so on. Once again, welcome everybody to the last stream of the week. Sadly, I think we only got to do 2 streams this week because we were on a vacation, but back to regular schedule and talking about this week so far. We had back-to-back green days, and we're looking to end Friday as another green day, wrapping up a nice little short little week for us, but a perfect green streak continuing for us going into next week. So let's look out for those opportunities as we will be charting the most the stocks that we will possibly be interested in tomorrow, and also go over all the trades that we did execute today, and find some of those maybe movers that moved today that we did not execute on, and see if there's any possible trades on those too. So if you guys have any stocks that you yourself want me to take a look at, feel free to throw them in the chat, and we will take a look at some of those stocks that are obviously on the menu. Get it? Hell's Kitchen, Prad's Kitchen, TH in the house. What's up, TH? Appropriate meme. My stocks got hit today. Well, the Bulls, Rocky Mountain Oysters, for those of you know what that is. Those were obviously served up on a platter today, and the Bears were rejoicing. Big move to the downside eventually later on. We did start off to the downside from the CPI numbers and the initial jobless numbers, but then the market looked like it wanted to go up, but then eventually later on the market just gave out and broke out to the downside, sadly, and that might just open up a room for free fall Friday, ladies and gentlemen. So looks like Rocky Mountain Oysters will be on the menu tomorrow too, if we got a nice little push to the downside on the market. But anything is really possible, right? We could get more buying coming in, we could get big money coming in and thinking that these are the spots to really start buying up the market in, and they could push the stocks back up again. We don't really know what's going on, so we just have to prepare for all kind of situations, all kind of possibilities, right? Trading is all about if this then else type of situations and statements that you want to create for your trading, and it'll just help you out. We see Dan Duval's in the chat, CDP's also in the house, TraderPrad's in the house, of course. I mean, I have to be in the house. If I'm not, then you're probably watching I don't know who, right? But somebody that's not me, which is not. Don't do that. Watch me. Hit the like, hit the subscribe if you haven't already. But let's get started. As we do have a pretty long list of stocks that we want to go through today, and we also have a pretty decent list of stocks that we traded today. So let's go through all those and talk about how our day went. Starting off with man, my throat is so scratchy and itchy. Okay. Start off with NEE. If we go to NEE on the 1-year chart, I think we were talking about this on the 1-year chart. Yeah, so on the daily chart, which I guess is a 1-year chart too. But if you go on the dailies, you'll see the stock previously popped up into the $54 area and kind of resisted. We had that in our notes yesterday too, that 53.50 to 54 area. Watch out for possible resistances to come into this position. So on the 1-minute time frame, we did try to push to 54, but never really pushed up higher than 54, giving me some beautiful scalp opportunities on the short side. I was able to get 2 little shorts over there. Later on, I got FOMO into this position. I think that the stock is going to go much deeper to the downside without me, and since I exited the position over here, I'm gonna have to punch into this stock and really heavily. So I do that over here. I get stopped out, I get back in a little bit of a battle happening over here on the 3rd trade. Eventually later on, I give up on that trade. I come back again closer to VWAP. I try some over here, but I come back closer to VWAP, and I am able to capture a little bit of the move, and I miss out sadly on a bigger move over here to the downside, which was a monster move to the downside on NEE. Just continuous selling again, constantly getting sold off anytime it pushes, and especially that anchored VWAP from the day that the stock has actually been pushing to the downside. Whenever the catalyst happens to be right around these areas too. So multiple reasons to look for that short over there if the selling does show up, and we did get opportunities to short it. We just traded a little poorly at some points, but eventually we did manage to turn the stock into our #1 stock on the day. Shout out to NEE. Possible trades on it tomorrow too. We'll talk about it later on. It is on our watch list, but this is how we traded today. I think the spots that we could have done better is not FOMO and punch in like a madman over here, and also kind of not have these type of trades over here in the middle. Wait for that VWAP pullback and so on. But everything's hindsight 2020. You know, we don't really know if that would have happened, but there's a lot of things to improve on just how I traded today overall. A bunch of positions, some stocks where I had amazing prices, I just gave up on those trades overall, and we'll rant about it in a bit. But this was NEE, monster winner for us on the day. At some point we actually were turning it negative, but we did manage to turn it back to being positive on the day, and we ended up being the #1 stock for us. So NEE, I think it's actually my #1 stock ever since I started trading at this new prop firm. So shout out to NEE. It's been one of my biggest trades, most profitable tickers at least on this new account. Okay, Walgreens, or not Walgreens. What is this? This is Walgreens? Yeah, Walgreens. Walgreens had earnings report, negative earnings report / inlines earnings report. They pushed to the downside off that report initially, but later on they kept, you know, trickling to the north side all through pre-market. A little drop off the open, but before that, off the open, it was actually trying to go test that 24 area, which was yesterday's high. I was actually watching a little bit different action take place in pre-market itself, right around 2350. Right around 2350, there was a buyer that showed up in pre-market, and right before the stock opened up, he disappeared. And I predicted that that buyer could be on an iceberg order, meaning he's hiding the amount of size he actually intends to take, and has his whole size still sitting there on iceberg orders, kind of hidden from market participants. So after noticing that, obviously the stock ran away from that price. Started pushing up to the 2380 where there was a seller, and then that seller removed his order and let the stock basically trade around, and the stock pushes up to 24, fails to take out 24, comes back down. On the way back down, the seller shows back up again. Now after that seller shows back up, the stock starts pushing right back to 2350. And I'm watching the stock, you know, bounce off of this level, 2350. Let me show you the stock over here on the 1 minute time frame, right around over here. As you guys can see, right, that price 2350 exactly for about 2 minutes or so. I'm watching the stock try to break that 2350 barrier, but not really able to break that 2350 barrier. So now I'm getting ready to really hammer the short. We got the yesterday's pre-market, sorry, not yesterday pre-market, yesterday's high reject. We got the buyer over here who I saw in pre-market previously. So if that buyer is exhausted, there could be an awesome short here on this position that could really take me to the downside for the rest of the day, right? So based on that trade, I punch in on the break of 2350. The buyer gets exhausted. The stock never really peaks back above 2350 until it does. So it does push all the way to the downside. I'm able to take my profits, and then I get stopped out on my last few shares. I have a trailing stop over here, so that trailing stop kind of gets triggered, and then later on, right around that 2350 to 2380, I try to scalp this trade a little bit to the short side. All profits, a little bit losers over here on the second trade, but the third trade gives me profits on the stock. But noticing how strong the stock was even after negative earnings report, I just kind of stayed away from the short side. Didn't want to keep battling the short and keep you know, losing money on it. So not that I lost money on it once. I did make money on it. It's my second best stock on the day, but I didn't want to give back money on that I made on this position. So I kind of stayed away from it, and I just set the order to take the breakout of 24. If the stock is going to be that strong on the day, negative earnings report, started off lower in the pre-market, but kept rallying higher and higher. If that is the play, then maybe yesterday's high 24, which was previously rejected, a breakout of that level, especially on a strong market, which kind of could have shown up today at some point. This trade could have been monstrous, but eventually, so later on I'll tell you what happened. So I actually do take that breakout. I'm able to add on a little bit of a higher move up because I like the trade even more and more. I'm seeing the stock really consolidate higher and higher and higher. It does give you 20 cents per share, but later on it does pull back as the market does fail, and the stock sadly trades right back under 24 over here. At that point, you could have kind of looked for the shorts right back to VWAP, but didn't really think about that at that point and just stayed away from trading it. I think I would have over traded this stock like I did another position today, which happens to be this one, Delta Airlines. Delta Airlines, another earnings stock. We prepared for 3 of them: DPZ, Delta, and the one we just talked about, whatever that was, I already forgot. DPZ, Delta, and Walgreens. So Delta Airlines, I waited for the stock to open. It puked right off the open. I let it settle. Afterwards, it kind of shows me a higher low, higher high kind of pattern over here. So I start getting into some longs closer to 36, and my stops right around over here. I'm able to take some scalps out, and I get stopped out, noticing the weakness and the fact that the stock is not able to really stay above 36. I flip short, add to my short, scalp on the way down, and take some profits. Now I flip long right around the levels that we mapped out on this position, which is DAL. If you go to the 1-year chart, you see this consolidation area, right? We were ready to see a breakdown of that consolidation area or look for buys off that area. So right around that price in front of $35, I'm able to get into some longs and scalp it to the north side. Sadly, I don't hold it for the real move, which is all the way above VWAP. And because I don't hold it for that move all the way above VWAP, I start getting into some monkey shorts. And because my price is so bad, I start closing some of my size, and I start getting back in and closing some of my size and getting back in. All of this, just giving back my money that I made on this stock today and putting it to the negative side. Eventually, I do catch the short, which is good because this turns the stock to flat for me, and eventually I do make all that money back that I gave up on it, but not all the money that I eventually had on it. So I just turned it to the flat side, and because I don't really hold the stock with the proper size all the way to this exit down here, now I'm trying longs again. Now I'm trying longs, I'm giving up more money, I'm making some money, I'm giving up money, I'm making some money. Eventually the stock ends up being my worst stock on the day, from being one of my best stocks on the day first to over trading it to the point where I just kind of ruined it for myself. I think there is some trade over here tomorrow. However, this 35 area is still very interesting. That's pretty much the same price around that range box that we'll talk about Delta Airlines more in detail for trades for tomorrow and setups for tomorrow. But as how I could improve on these positions, I mean, we did get the short thesis correct. The stock already showed that it wanted to go to the downside. It was down 2.5% even after good earnings report. So it showed us that it wanted to pull down no matter what. The market was also a little bit weak later on. So focusing on all those type of variables, I did not have to fight this short. Maybe I could have, fought the short once and then dumped it off over here, not really fight it all the way up, and then I could have just waited around these areas, been a little bit more patient, and maybe entered somewhere around here, take some profits, and then really enter right under VWAP more for that bigger dump to the downside, at which point I would not have to fight for the longs on here and ruin my flat trade on the day to turn it into a negative stock on the day. That trading on Delta paid the price for it. Here are a couple of trades that we just pushed some chips around, tried to see if we can make something out of it. Nothing really happened on the next few trades that you're going to see. Plug Power, we were looking for the $8 short. The stock was never really around 8, so I tried to look for some shorts on a possible move up over here once it started curling back down. But I started adding all the way up to VWAP, small sizes, so I'm able to add all the way up to VWAP, and then I scalp most of my size out right around this first entry, which allows me to turn the stock to basically flat, and my last profit over here was right around this entry. So basically flat on the stock over here, I think positive, but flat on it doesn't really matter to the PNL. But that's tried to do something, didn't really work out. Same thing over here. Thought the market wasn't really going to go too far to the north side. I tried some shorts on Apple right around the high day / pre-market areas. Quick little scalps, tight stops, didn't really like it, and actually dumped my position completely. And that ends up being the right call because the market starts taking off at that point, and Apple takes off with it. Later on, tried the same short again after the stock looks like it's kind of stalling at around 182, and the market I thought was really going to sell off. Sadly, later on when the market was really selling off, I was too busy trading Delta Airlines and trying to catch a long over there that I didn't really care about flipping to a different stock and really catching that short, because all these tech stocks really sold off later on, and we do have all these stocks on the basket. So we will take a deeper look at these tech stocks today and maybe find some levels for us to trade off of tomorrow. But here's how I traded Apple. Flat on the day. I think I actually made money on the shorts on both of these shorts, so positive on it, but flat on this position. Not flat on the day though. We actually made money on the day. Green streak, baby. SPY, once again, just looking for a stock to get into, looking for a trade to get into at this time of the day. And SPY, I thought which was under VWAP, was really big sell candle. I thought a breakout of this area to the downside could give me a bigger trade to the downside, but the stock or SPY and the markets weren't really responding to the downside that much, so I just closed the trade and I didn't really like it, and I think that was the right decision. Later on though, market getting clapped. Palantir, this one we traded a little bit. I think it was negative but flat, not positive flat but negative flat if I remember accurately. Overall, we tried a quick little short right around 18, scalp it. We get stopped out on the break a high day if I remember accurately. Later on, we flip into a long. We don't like the long. Actually, we got stopped out on the long. Then we flip back into a short. Then we get stopped out on the short. Then we flip back into a long, and we stick to the long thesis, which technically would have worked. If you look how the stock keeps trading, the stop is right over here. My risk to reward was pretty tight, which technically would have worked if the market didn't do what it did. And even then, after the market doing what it did, the stock really stuck around close enough to this $18 price or so. So it looks like we might just get another chance to trade around 18 tomorrow, but we'll get deeper into it. Pretty sure this was a positive trade for me based on how this trade ended right here and this trade right here. A little bit of losses over here, but that didn't really matter because I made it all up over here. So I don't think this was negative flat. I think this was positive flat. Pretty sure this is positive flat, but Google was negative, slightly negative, not too negative. Tried a quick little long over here as the market was going up, and I saw all other tech stocks already going much higher. Google wasn't really doing too much, so I figured, hey, I'll try a Google long with the stop right under over here. Did take out that low, got stopped out, stayed away from it, tight risk management. And Google, which ended up being the much weaker tech stock on the day today, just kind of grinded sideways as the other tech stocks were going higher. And when the market really started going down, Google was the stock to, I guess, really smash your shorts because it was the weaker stock on the day. Technically just traded under VWAP throughout the day. So that was your stock to be into. We'll dive deeper into it for tomorrow. Do not worry. Talking about diving deeper into stocks, here's our list for the stocks that we want to maybe keep an eye out for. Take a look for. Keep an eye out on the watch list. What am I even trying to say? Here's some stocks that you might want to put on your watch list. And most of them, obviously, that we want to be interested in are going to be the earnings stocks. They're the pre-market earnings stocks that we got. The banks, so JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citibank, BlackRock, UNH, PNC, and PGR. We also got a couple stocks that actually came out with the earnings pre-market or after hours tonight. But I don't think they do a lot of volume. They popped up in the after hours scanner, so I figured maybe I'll put them on the watch list over here to take a quick little look. Looks like this stock popped up to the north side after its earnings report with very light volume, so no real big, nothing really excites me. I mean, the average volume is 175,000, and today's volume is 472,000, so not really too exciting. And SGH, 1 million shares today, average 10-day volume 470,000. So that's not bad. That's a little bit better. And looks like the after hour, the stock actually plummeted to the downside all the way down to $17.30. So maybe there's actually a trade over here, as the stock is right back into these ranges to the downside after that earnings report. Maybe this one brings in some volume. Being down more than 10% also triggers that SSR mechanic, so you got to keep that one on watch. Maybe an SSR bounce if this is a pretty big enough of a company for people to have that SSR bounce reason. But I will not be looking for buys unless there's any real size on the bids or any real reason to get into a long. Mostly possibly looking for shorts as long as there are volume in this position. I think we could see a bigger sell-off, more than 15-17%. That's it's already down on the day. Let's actually see what it is down on the day. It's down 25% on the day. Oh my goodness. Maybe there is some sort of a relief rally coming in then at that point off of these highs over here that we're watching. But wouldn't expect too much of a relief rally on this position. But we'll have it on the watch list. These both positions don't do much volume event throughout the day anyways. So if for any reason they do volume for us, then we'll start looking for some opportunities to trade off of. Now we'll come back to these stocks later on. I think I want to kind of put notes for them and really prepare for the bank stocks, because they'll be very fun to really trade tomorrow. XLF maybe something to take a look at look for also along with that list. But let's start off with a little bit down the list over here today. After hour movers, Dollar General moving up a little bit if I remember accurately. I just want to say something about Dollar General. On our drive to Virginia or Washington DC, we were seeing a lot of these random Dollar Generals at these random little villages or little towns, not villages, but random little towns on the drive there. I guess Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, whatever towns that we were driving through. We're looking at these little Dollar Generals, and I was like, what the heck, this random Dollar General out of nowhere. And I'm surprised, like, why is there a Dollar General instead of like a Walmart where people can actually go buy food, or like a CVS pharmacy or something? What happened to be a Dollar General? I guess that's the local store for that area, but I was surprised to see those DGs popping up everywhere. And then all of a sudden today on the scanners we see DG popping up because they bring back one of their old CEOs to back in command, and that bringing obviously some volume on this position, a little bit of a catalyst bump now at this point. So I'm gonna put in an anchored VWAP off of that catalyst itself and see what happens tomorrow around this 109.40 area to see if there's any buying right around this price. I mean, you would expect any buyer who stepped in around these prices, whose average price is right around 109.50, to show up again to kind of defend their price overall. Maybe even 108, which was the low of this move to the downside, could be something to keep an eye out for. I think the average volume is not too bad, and tomorrow with that catalyst we could see a little bit more volume coming in on this position, some bump in relative volume. So I will be interested to see how the stock trades tomorrow. So far though, we did get a nice bump right into these levels. Looks like, no, did we not trade a little bit higher than that? 110 is the high of that move, 111 almost, 110, 111. I will not be surprised to see a nice move up to this high of this range over here. High of this range on this position, somewhere up to, what's that price, 112.16 up to 116.65. Isn't that where the stock basically almost pushed up to today? So that range over here, let's see if we can kind of see some buying coming in the lower end of these ranges, allowing the stock to push to the higher end of those ranges, or even some buying coming in right around this anchored VWAP that we just plopped in for ourselves. I would love to see where most of the volume transacted on the after hours. Looks like right in the upper range of the prices into 110 or so. Really, you're telling me not enough volume? No, there we go. A lot of volume did trade right around over here, and that happens to be right around where the VWAP is too. Okay, pretty cool. So Dollar General, pretty interested to keep an eye out for tomorrow. I will not be surprised if this one brings in some extra volume for us to trade off of. Groupon traded a little bit in the after hours, popped up. I'm guessing this is just a leeching off of a Dollar General. Agreed to sell part of its stake in electronic company, sum up for 8.4 million. Well, it didn't drop down, it popped up. That was 2 days ago. That was 2 days ago. So that was over here. Overall, not sure what's going on this position, because it got a little bit of a bump in the after hours. No real volume. I don't think I'll be too interested in Groupon. A little bit of a pump on Groupon today in the after hours, though. For those of you interested, after hours scanners picked it up for us, so I kind of thought that we would be interested to maybe take a look, maybe find a trade on it. I don't see a trade on it at all. So let's move on from it. Let's go to the next stock over here, which I do believe we for sure will see a trade opportunity, which is Sava. Cassava Sciences getting investigated for possible, what is it, false 38% on investigation into Simufilm data manipulation. So overall, lying about some results, I guess. Data manipulation coming in on Cassava Sciences, SAVA, biotech stock. I think it's a decent enough of a short flow. Let's actually go check over here on Flow Checker. Come on, Flow Checker, reload for me. Let's go check on Flow Checker what the flow is, and what also, hey, Cloudflare net, and then what the short float is also. Yeah, there we go. That's what I thought. So it was a pretty decent short float and a pretty low float also. 39 million flow with a 36% short flow. I mean, this stock could maybe get some sort of a rally off that SSR catalyst tomorrow, but it's currently down a monster 30 some odd percent, 29% I think is what we saw in the after hours scanner. Let's quickly pull it up, and yeah, just breaking that price point, the $16.15 or yeah, 55 cents, sorry, going all the way as low as $8.21. Quickly want to put down an anchored VWAP off of this move and see if there's any selling comes in right around this 1150, 1160 to for us to join the party to the downside. The stock can, you know, give us a bigger trade to the downside possibly on this negative catalyst that comes out. Is that price now a new all-time low? Not really an all-time low, sorry, but it is a new 52-week low. And last time the stock traded around those prices of $8 was in January, I guess, of 2021. So we're going down to pretty prices pretty back in history, and based on that, I guess there's still a lot of price discovery to take place for new catalysts and new history. So we'll be watching this one tomorrow, as I 100% think there'll be a big volume spike coming in. Average volume is only 900,000 shares, but tomorrow I wouldn't be surprised if the stock trades, you know, millions and millions of shares tomorrow. So SAVA, look out for any, you know, if the stock does pop into 1655, it's an easy short off of that 1655, but I'll be basically watching to see how this anchored VWAP plays out on the stock and play out from there. Just know your plan and have a plan. Yes, sir. I like it long, in my opinion. Smash it, brother. That's all that matters. They tend to be located on main highways. Yeah, I was pretty surprised by that. But I guess it was a pretty main highway. Not really a main highway. It was a local road going through a little bit of a little town, small town. But hey, I guess it was a pretty big of a highway because I saw a lot of cars driving there, a lot of cars with different state license plates from all over the United States, and even trucks going down that street. I thought it would be annoying for people who live on that town, because like you just constantly have cars driving by through morning, through the night, non-stop. But shout out to the people who do. I live in a pretty quiet neighborhood. Shout out to my parents. Yay. Okay, Sava will be looking out for on the watch list. Here comes some of the more degen stocks that really moved around today, really popped right to the downside later on though. I'm glad I really didn't touch any of these positions today. I was watching them but wasn't too interested in trading these positions at all. SECO later on pushing right back under $1, and the after hour price now at 80 cents. So sucks to be SECO. Closed at $1 though, but went right back under $1 in the after hours. Maybe if the stock can get back over $1 tomorrow, we could look for maybe any longs on this position. But keep in mind, based on yesterday's close and where it's going to possibly open in pre-market, the stock could be on SSR. So if you're looking to join the short side, might be a little bit harder. But based on the amount of volume I think the stock did today, and if it does anywhere close to that volume tomorrow, there'll be enough opportunities for you to get picked up on the higher tick to the north side for SECO. But if the stock can get above $1, and same goes for OPGN, if either of these stocks can get back above $1 and hold above $1, you can look for those longs. Get up and hold above $1, then we can look for longs. Okay, TPST really moved around a little bit today, but mostly to the downside. I didn't really look at TPST too much, but I know a lot of people were looking at it. I saw a lot of people on Twitter shorting it. I think a couple people in my company's office were also having fun with this trade overall. So shout out to anyone who did manage to pull out a trade. I just didn't want to pay for shorts, so didn't trade it. But the fact that the stock is still holding above 3, even with all the news that's going on, and the anchored VWAP from the day that the stock went crazy, right around this $2.50, looks like as long as we're above 250 on this position, there's some possible trades that we could kind of get into. So let's see if this 250 holds can get long. If 250 area holds, we can look for some good longs over here, and we previously had this little box that we looked out for right in front of $2. So anywhere from 2 to 250, I think you can kind of look for longs on that position on TPST, as long as there is volume tomorrow. Make sure that there is volume, and I won't be surprised if there is volume. I think there will be volume on that trade, so we'll be watching that without fail. Let me just quickly do this one over here for myself. Okay, now that we have a couple of these things going down for ourselves, where is that? Oh, that's the that's the volume point of control. That's pretty surprising. Okay, I like that. Do I not have any blue or red and orange lines? I guess not. So I guess we'll just drop one down right now. Screw it. And just mark that orange. Okay, and just leave that there. Okay, right now, so Delta Airlines, what am I seeing on Delta Airlines? This blue line that you're seeing is the anchored VWAP from the earnings move, and the volume point of control for the last few days that you're seeing is also right around where the anchored VWAP from the earnings move is. So basically, anyone who's been trading for the last 2 days, including the earnings move, most of the average price for the stock right now is right around $36, $38, $35.80, $36. If for any reason we are able to show some buying around this 35 lows, which happens to be this range low that we were talking about previously, if we do see some buying coming in around this 35.50 to 34.70, and the stock is able to push back above to 36 and really start holding above 36, maybe even in pre-market we see it above around these prices and really try to hold above this 36, then there is some possible longs to get into. I mean, the earnings report was positive, right? The earnings report was positive. They did beat on the numbers pretty much, and I think they guided higher also. So Delta Airlines is something that I would be looking out for the higher side move. I'm looking for that buying action to come in right on the downside. But based on just today's action, if we kind of ignore the after hour move or the pre-market move, sorry, most of the volume I guess is calculating off of this big volume node that takes place in the close. So no real way to kind of ignore that one, to be honest. But overall, we do like to see that the stock is showing us some good technical analysis and mathematical equations showing us some level right around this 36 area, and we got technical support right around this 35 area that we're expecting to keep showing us some buying. The stock never really pushed too much lower than 35 today, 34.92 the low a day, and it did try to manage to pop to the north side later on into the close, into the after hours. So I would not be surprised if we do open up closer to this 36 and show some buying above 36 tomorrow, and then get a move to the north side. So Delta Airlines, look for longs on 35 or 36, depends on where stock opens. Okay. American Airlines, just a sympathy trade, might be good to have on the watch list, but it did sell off quite a bit. Obviously, Delta Airlines sold off the open, so American Airlines sold off right with it. Not something I might be watching tomorrow. I think if I was going to trade, most likely I'll be continuing to trade Delta Airlines, but American Airlines is something to watch out for. I think also that the airline strike that's going on is a little bit of a question mark right now for all airlines. Maybe Delta Airlines selling off for a little bit before that, and American Airlines earnings report apparently in 6 days coming out, so we can be a little bit patient. But nice little sympathy trade for anyone who did want to look out for that. It offered you that trade. Pretty much a monster move to the downside on American Airlines, one of the more active stocks on the day. CCL basically the same trade overall, but CCL holding off in the range over here, a little bit choppy in this range. Also something that I'm not going to be too keen on trading tomorrow, but I'll have it on my watch list. We'll see if it does give us some trades over there overall, but we'll just kind of have to move these stocks to the lower side of our watch list as something that's not too important for us. Okay, JD, Baba, Baidu, NIO. Apparently the Chinese sector. So let's actually start off with the FXI ETF, the Chinese large cap ETF, selling off 1.73% today. So pretty big move to the downside on the Chinese large cap ETF overall. I mean, look at that move. So it looks like I mean, we didn't really, no one really told it until later on in the day, but one of the traders or trainees on the floor was actually looking at Baba today and shorted Baba, I guess. So Baba, big move to the downside. I mean, constant selling, non-stop selling. Baidu, I guess, would be pretty much looking the exact same. JD looking the same, and Pinduoduo, the other stock that I forgot. So maybe replace Baidu with Pinduoduo, as Baidu doesn't really do too much volume for us, but most of these positions selling off and moving right back into the lower end of some of these ranges that we might be interested in. I mean, Pinduoduo, beautiful move into these lows. Maybe that 104 holds, and if that 104 doesn't hold, we can look for a bigger move right into the lower ranges over here of 100 test coming in on PDD. So we got some levels over here to obviously watch out. 3% move to the downside today, and I think 105, 104.90 is something to be ready for. I think that's the price that right there, that 104.80. For anyone interested where that range comes from, it comes from right around these highs. Oh, that looks ugly. Right around these highs over here, that I was pretty interested in seeing how that stock trades anytime it does push into that price point, and it did push recently. I guess I was on vacation, so I missed out on that move. Yikes. But we are now coming back to test support right in that area. So let's see if Pinduoduo if not, smash the damn shorts, baby. If 105 does not hold, smash the damn shorts on Pinduoduo. From Pinduoduo, let's quickly head over to Baba for us. BABA, ladies and gentlemen. As Alibaba, Chippy. Shout out to, is that Mo Bamba? Yeah, Mo Bamba. Let's see if there's any trades over here. Nice little box right here that Alibaba is currently trying to hold off in. We got some, rejections to the upper end. We got some supports to the lower end, but looks like we could see a bigger move to the downside, especially if the sector is continuing to show weakness for us. There is some sort of a level right over here. I mean, look at the way we bounced off of that right around that day. But if we do manage to show me any weakness right around $82.50, $84, there could be some beautiful shorts to get into and a price price dropped all the way down to 77.77, maybe 7777, the lucky number. And Chinese people love gambling, trust me. Macau and so on. So 7777, lucky number over there. Wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing a little bit of a test around these areas over here for Baba. Let's get that move coming in, baby. BABA, looking for more selling action coming in, but right now I'm not that confident to really taking this choppy range action short. If we do get below 82.60, 82.50, then I'm really interested in that short. JD, ooh, yeah, we love that level on JD. I mean, look at that bad boy right now, giving us a new 52-week low. Could see a little bit of a bounce, but if there is more continuation on this rally and he pops into 28, you want to basically short that. If this if continuation, I can't spell right now, then look for shorts into 28 or break of 27.55, which was basically today's low. The break of today's low, look for shorts into that level if there is any continuation on that trade for JD, Baba, Pinduoduo, and NIO. I'm pretty sure NIO stuck in that same boring range still, but if anyone's interested in trading NIO on the same catalyst, that trade is still offered for you, and NIO actually does more volume than Baba, Pinduoduo. Let's confirm before I say that. Yeah, Baba 16, Pinduoduo 8, pretty sure. JD was 32. JD did pretty good volume to the downside today because NIO did 33 million or 37 million, sorry, with 33 million average. So JD did pretty decent volume. I think JD will be something to for sure watch out for tomorrow at NIO. For those of you interested, gotta keep that one on watch 100% if you are interested for this negative Chinese catalyst. Plug Power. I mean, I was pretty interested to the short side on this position off of the positive catalyst that the stock had. It was constantly pushing higher and higher, but right now I guess the move's a little bit muted. I mean, I'm not really getting the read on it, but tomorrow if we do see a little bit of selling action coming in on Plug, I will look for that selling action to ride into the downside. But right now I think it's more to think about longs. The way it's been trading for the last few days, I mean, this move was a constant move up, and this day was consolidated right around this area, and then we're consolidating again right around this area. Looks like there's some sort of a pop in the stock at the moment, and you know, we're not really pushing too far to the downside with decent volume. That means buyers are not really closing their longs. Shorts are probably trying to stuff it down, but buyers are not really pushing their longs, and the stock's catalyst was pretty damn strong recently. So I think there's some sort of a long instead, so I might just stay back off from the short thesis. Looks like the 70-50 area would actually give us a possible long area for us to trade off of, and if we do break out of 750 to the north side, get to 8, break out of 8 and go north, then there's a possible long on a retest of 8, and 8 actually holds and shows us some support. 750 long or break and hold of 8 for longs. Okay, Zom, I guess you know, just that energy catalyst, or the fact that they are buying another company for $60 billion if I remember correctly, which is PXD, Pioneer National Resource Company. I had to cheat over there. So overall, Zom is a little bit muted on the day today, flat on the day. Almost had an inside day, did break out to the north side a little bit overall, but it's very choppy. I don't think I really want to be interested in trading the stock too much. The volume is still there. The average relative volume is higher, 31 million shares compared to 10-day average volume of 23 million shares. So pretty decent volume overall for anyone interested, but for myself, I'm not too interested. I will have it on my watch list, but I don't think I want to really be eager to making a trade on XOM, because there'll be better trades tomorrow for sure. We already have 5-6 stocks over here ready for tomorrow, and we haven't even hit any of the bank stocks yet. Right, so going on from XOM to Palantir, we were talking about the constant attempt to short Palantir, but based on how today's action played off, I really do believe the stock was getting ready to launch to the north side and take off. Why is that there? Really take off to the north side at some point, and go higher than 18. Maybe we see that 19-20 area if the market was strong. but it ended up not happening that way because the market was weak. So Palantir selling off sadly. But tomorrow, if the market does end up being strong, we could see some longs off of this 18, and the market ends up being weak, then we could see some possible short attempts again near this 1820, the 2-day high of yesterday and the day before that high of 1844, and around this $18 area. So this $18 area acting as a pretty pivotal price point. 18, I'll just put on 18, but I kind of know what I'm thinking about on this trade. So I'll be looking for any sort of rejections to show up for me to kind of look for some shorts into today's highs or the day before that's highs right around 1850. And if buyers do show up, then I kind of want to join that party because this stock could make that rally up to the north side up to 19 and even $20. So I want to be in that party. Palantir. Carvana selling off a little bit today, joining again right below that 34 or 36.44. Sorry, wow, it actually popped right into 36.44. That was the trade today. It opened up right around that price. I'm not sure if it had a lot of volume off the open. I guess it did, but that was the trade. Holy smokes, we missed out on that move. If Carvana does pop anywhere close to 36.44, we want to look for that short again. Let's just put 36.50, but anywhere close to 36.42, 36.44, whatever you want to call it. If we want to look for that short attempts, I mean, Carvana, anytime it pops up there, it looks like it just wants to reject at that moment. And right now we might see some buying action coming in right around 32, but if 32 breaks, there could be bigger moves over here on Carvana, so watch out. I'm actually going to put down just a slash and then just put 32, because if 32.30, which is 32 yeah, 32.30, $32, I'm just gonna say 32. If anywhere close to 32 to 32.30 breaks, I think there's a bigger move to the downside on Carvana. I think tomorrow we'll have to keep Carvana on the watch list, and I might just move this one higher up here a little bit, higher than these, and actually move these ones away from there and kind of put them here. Okay, so that looks a little bit better, and I guess Zom can get away from there and then go join American Airlines and CCL down there. Affirm. Affirm is most likely going to join XOM and CCL and AAL, but pretty big move to the downside today. I mean, 7% drop right back into this 1850 area, and I guess if 1850 doesn't hold, which was this day's low, there could be a bigger move to the downside over here. Nice little rejection coming in right around this 2050s or so. So Affirm, you know, probably not a bad thing to have on your watch list. I would expect some buying coming in right around these areas, man. Look at the volume point of control showing that there was a lot of trading happening around this price point, and even right around here recently. So this happens to be at $17.50. So if 17.50 shows up on Affirm, I will possibly see some long attempts. But if that doesn't hold, I'll just stay away from it. There could be some shorts on it, but I'll probably just stay away, because I don't know if there's you know, any hidden buyer on the way down over here based on how the stock is traded downside. But I'll keep an eye out for it. Affirm, I won't remove it from the watch list for sure, but I'll have it up there in case any trades do show up. Rivian, that $20 area is still a big wall. If it does show up again tomorrow, if we do pull up to 20, look for those shorts again and again. 3 days in a row, the stock has not managed to pull up above 20. So any time it does manage to go closer to that 1980, 1990, $20, you want to look for those short attempts and just ride it straight back to the south side. So Rivian at the moment, although it is not breaking 20, it's not really pushing too far to the downside either. We are seeing it hold up pretty close to $19 every single day. So a little bit of a box forming in $19 to $20, but eventually one side's got to give, and I think it's going to be the $19 area. So let's look out for the shorts once again on Rivian. NEE. Sadly, I don't think there's a trade on this stock tomorrow unless it pushes right back into that 54 area. If it does pull back to 54, I will be very, very interested to short that price point. But if it doesn't show me more resistance back at that 54, I might just stay away from it. You know, a lot of volume based on how the stock traded today transacted right around this 53.50, apparently based on the volume point of control. Based on that, I think there's a little bit of a magnet on the stock. It might just pop into that higher end of these ranges again tomorrow. Test that. Test this area high. test this area high of 53.50 to $54, and then if resistance does show up based on this anchored VWAP also, I would love to short the stock again tomorrow and ride it to the downside. So far, this has been my best stock overall since I've been trading at this prop firm for the last 2 months or so, or a month and a half, and I would love to keep on doing that and actually turn Fridays from being my worst day of the month, worst day of the week, to the best day of the week. So let's see if we can do that tomorrow with the help of NEE. I'll be continually looking for those shorts right around 54, and these stocks we were already covering, so we can kind of walk away from those. Next up, we got big tech and the earnings pre-market stocks. These ones, we'll move these ones down over here. Actually, no, these ones deserve somewhere down over here. Let's be real, because these ones do barely any volume. I think we did have some levels on Dollar General, but we just didn't put it in our notes. So let's quickly go back to Dollar General over here, put it in our notes. We're looking for that 108/109.50 slash what was today's high of the after hour move, 111 area to come into play. Let's see how it plays in the after or pre-market tomorrow, and then based on pre-market we can kind of make new levels. I do think we have a bigger move over here in Dollar General, possibly on that catalyst all the way up to 115, 116, and we already have the anchored VWAP put in off of that move, so we don't have to really worry about it last minute. Salva, I think we were just gonna say any pops into 16.55, right? Any pops into 16.55 or $16, you're looking for shorts. And then if we don't really see any pops in there, but the stock starts showing up resistances right around 12 to 11.50, then we're looking for shorts there too. If shorts show up at 12 to 11.50, get ready to have fun. Okay, so those are those stocks over there. Now we have a pretty smaller list to go through, I guess the last few stocks that we have on the board. Before we do that, let me quickly go to my lovely chat, see if you guys have any stocks that you guys want me to take a look at. What's good says, where's my cheese? What's good, brother? Doing great on my end. Hopefully you're doing good. How's your trading been? How's all your trading been? Let me know in the chat. Put some ones for some good days, 2s for some bad days, and 3s for some flat days. Let me see what you guys did in the chat over there. What's crack-a-lacking, people? Help homeboy out and smash the like button. Thank you, Gustavo. It means a lot to me. You don't know. That means a lot, brother. Thank you. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not already answered to your mom's phone message, your text message from your mom, make sure you go check your message. It says like and subscribe to your boy TraderPrad. Make sure you don't forget to do that. Traded Amazon today, watch it tomorrow for opportunity. Yeah, I'll have it on my watch list on big tech for sure, but I've kind of stay away from big tech during earnings season. I mean, there's good trades all the time everywhere, so I try to focus on the catalyst trades. Today, obviously, big tech gave you a lot of trades overall, and I think Amazon was one of them. There were some good levels on Amazon there too. Josh, I agree. AMD did good today too. Yeah, we have that on the watch list also. Long, short tomorrow, question mark. I like it long. I guess you're talking about that Amazon trade earlier. Just know your risk and have a plan. Yes, always know and have a plan. 100%. Without that, you're shooting yourself, right? About 10 years or so, Dollar General rally invested in rural areas. It was an attempt to fill in areas where Walmart wasn't. That answers my question. That answers my question. So pretty much on the route there, I saw a lot of them. And yeah, Dollar General, I guess tomorrow we'll see if it has any play for us. Ford stock showing serious downside during strike, better to short. It's something that I have been ignoring, the UAW strike trades, the Ford and GM and so on. Not really too interested in shorting these stocks. I mean, they move like grandfather. Penny moves. It's too boring for me. I'll fall asleep trading these stocks, and I'll most likely close my position way too quickly than I need to. But obviously, it is a great trade for a longer time frame, I guess. Until that strike ends, you can keep on looking for those shorts on a swing scale. And if you are interested on the longs, you just wait for the strike to end, I guess, and just look for the longs. For day trade, though, I'm not really too interested in trading Ford. I know it is a pretty highly volumized stock out there, so it gives you a lot of opportunity to take size too if you're interested in it. Pretty small share price, pretty decent volume in it, so you can take a lot of size and then kind of push your saying. Be the big stack bully in some way, if you have the buying power to do so, that is, obviously. So yeah, Ford obviously always a trade over there. Microsoft paying a huge fine, 29 billion. Yes, if you guys actually looked at yesterday's stream thumbnail, that was the whole play on it. This was Bill Gates' face that we face swapped. Look at that AI screwing up that cup over there. That cup looks wonky, and half of this computer over here looks wonky because half of this image actually does not exist. I had to fake that image using AI on this side, fake the image using AI on this side. Only a little bit of this image right here exists. So even screwed up, or as you can see, the binder a little bit. Screwed up the binder, but that table looks pretty good. Not bad, AI, not bad at all. Overall, Microsoft picture, 28.9 billion, $29 billion in back taxes coming out, and they are getting hit on that price over there. I think today they were obviously rallying with the rest of the market, but then later on selling quite a bit off with the rest of the market, and actually ending red on the day, barely ending red on the day, but ending red overall. So those are the trades. I guess instead of once again talking specifically about every single big tech stock out there, because every single one of them are at pretty key levels. I mean, Apple 180, we got Google 140, Amazon 132, I believe, if I remember accurately, but now 133, 134 areas. Meta 324, 326. Meta 326 area, 324 area, big V-shaped recovery over there. So all of these stocks that are at pretty key levels overall, and we're interested to see what happens on the overall QQQ basket and the market to see if there's any buying coming in, any selling coming in, and then you know, I can't really guess. I don't have a crystal ball. If I did, trust me, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. I would be, you know, enjoying my life, making billions of dollars, not having to worry about a thing in my life overall. But I don't have a crystal ball, so I have to work hard for every single dollar. And you see me putting in, you know, 3 hours a night charting. You only see me an hour and a half, but after that I'm still going in, repainting my indicators, putting in new levels, new prices, and making a little bit of a revampment to my notes and my you know, focus of trades that I want to focus on, and getting prepared for tomorrow. And that takes another hour or so, and then obviously we gotta go walk my dog, I gotta go play some video games. So my life is just way too hard at this moment. But if we did have the crystal ball, you know, things would be much easier. QQQ overall, since we don't have the crystal ball, I do think based on today's action, if there is more selling, I will be very happy with the free fall Friday. If we do get that free fall Friday based on today's later on in the day action, man, is it going to be a banger short day for us to trade off of. But I will not be surprised if the stock or the markets, QQQ and the S&P 500, which was actually a little bit more weaker than QQQ today. The SPYs were really struggling to trade in the higher end of the ranges and rejecting VWAP throughout the day, right around over here, whereas QQQ was pushing higher and higher. Based on that, if there is weakness to show up in either of these sectors or both of these sectors, and we see a big free fall Friday opening up, I would love to short the shit out of the market tomorrow. So let's see what happens over there. But if buying comes in once again, like I keep mentioning, don't be afraid to get long. It could be an inside day tomorrow to really take volatility out and kill all the moves, kill all the patterns. Here's the volatility today, right around $16. I mean, we were very close to 20, very close to that fear area. But now volatility taken right out of the market in the last few days. Right as I come back from vacation, volatility just getting slaughtered. So let's see what happens today. Volatility getting a little bit of a rise, thankfully, up 3%, 4% on volatility, based on the not after hours, but the later session of the day. And I hope this volatility keeps on increasing and we see some 19, 18, 20 action once again, and the markets see some fear, and then some bigger selling off actions that we can actually short tomorrow. I don't think we see 19 volatility come into tomorrow, 20. But if any increase in volatility, any move to the downside on the market, we could really hold our trades for a bigger dream and really make that bigger bag on that day. So I'll be very excited if Free Fall Friday opens up. You guys know how excited Free Fall Friday gets me. Yeah, boy. Amazon Prime Day's coming soon. I thought it was already on my drive back from the United States to back to Canada. Oh, Canada. I actually was seeing Prime Day notification, and I saw that Prime Day sell the products were going on live at that moment. I thought Prime Day was already taking place or happening or already happened. Not sure. Dan Duval putting in the ones in the chat, letting me know how his trades went. Appreciate it, Dan Duval. You're the man, dog. You're the only one who did it. The rest of them? No, I don't mean that. I don't mean that. Hasbro earnings October 26th. We'll talk about it closer to that date, Rico. But no point in talking about it right now because I don't think we'll see a big volume spike in it tomorrow for us to be involved in it, to us to be taking a trade out of it tomorrow. Do you agree with the expression that we as traders do not predict, we react? Exactly. Don't anticipate, participate. Participate in the market action and the price action, because that is telling you exactly what to do, when to do, how to do, instead of you having to go out there and guess in the market every single day. Tomorrow, the XLF sector has earnings report. I think the sector could really be muted in the overall move unless all the banks kind of give in the same direction, like JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citibank. If all these three big banks that are coming out tomorrow give an earnings report in the same direction, then you could see XLF kind of get dictated into that one directional move tomorrow. But overall, if you know, one comes out one way, the other comes out the other way, then XLF might just have a little bit of a muted move tomorrow, and you might just have to pick and choose which stock you really want to battle with, and based on whatever earnings come out and based on how that stock moves off that earnings. I think Wells Fargo and Bank of America, both of which are recently at a pretty good price levels. If Wells Fargo, or sorry, Bank of America over here pushes right back into this $26 area with a low of $25.50, you could look for some longs over there. You could see how buying came back into this price point after the recent catalyst and pushed it right back to the upside. I think Wells Fargo did something very close to that. WFC did very close, something very similar to that, but a different, higher range of a price point. And JP Morgan, pretty strong of a bank over here overall, stuck in the higher end of the ranges. But if JP Morgan also pushes down, we can look for some possible buys or even shorts on a continuation of the earnings catalyst. So as all of these stocks are coming out with earnings report pre-market, we got, instead of XLF, JP Morgan, UNHC, BLK, WFC, PNC, PGR, all of which are coming out earnings pre-market. We could have some fun with these trades, so make sure you have these one on the watch list. Maybe throw some chart levels for themselves on levels on them for yourselves. Pretty sure I have levels on all of these banks for myself already, except for Citibank apparently. So let me quickly throw some levels over here on Citibank. There's a level right there that I'm interested in. There's a price right there that I'm interested in. Something happening over here looks like, but that's more of a box, so I'm just gonna box it in over here. So that's a range that I'm interested in. See what happens in that range, and then that low right there. So we got a couple of prices over here to see what happens on Citibank. Positive earnings report, looking for any moves into this closer, higher ranges of 43.50s, and on a negative earnings report, possibly dropping down to $39 or so on Citibank. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a bigger move on either direction based on how drastic their earnings report was, and so on. But with higher interest rates equals banks should make more money, equals a higher move to the upside, equals, I don't know. News on Activision question mark. Why? What happened? Did Activision do something in the after hours? Don't really do much on it. Popped up a little bit, but don't really see too much on it. News at 4 p.m. on Activision on Benzinga. 9 hours ago. Unveils new tactical mobile game. Yeah, whatever. Who cares about EA? Tweaks 69 billion to avoid EU probe. Yeah, I think we saw that tweak. I think Ubisoft was kind of involved in that deal. Yeah, I mean, Activision looks like it's getting closer and closer to close that deal. I mean, it's not that far away from 95 bucks now, and that's going to be the price that's going to close at. It looks like it's going to end up closing that deal pretty damn close, and it is moving around quite a bit every single day for anyone if you're interested. I think, you know, you could short this area or you could long this area, and it's been giving you monster trades either directions, I guess, for every single day on Activision. Coming right back to the bank stocks over here. Sorry, thanks. No, you're good, man. You don't have to apologize. I just don't see anything on Activision at the moment, but it looks like the deal is for sure coming into a close. Banks. You guys saw the banks already. PNC, PGR, I'm not really too interested. I'm just gonna leave them on the watch list. BLK kind of goes in that same basket. What the hell am I doing? BLK kind of goes in that same basket. UNH goes in that same basket. I'm pretty sure UNH is a pretty high price of a stock too, if I remember accurately. Let's go see if I am. Yeah, $500 stock. I mean, come on, ridiculous price. The spread could be nasty, but if it does give you volume, there could be some trades over here for us to trade off of. Overall, a lot of positions and earnings. Earnings season's back on board, ladies and gentlemen. I don't really have the earnings calendar for next week. Let's see if we can go find it real quick. What the? I'm gonna get banned. Thank you, Dylan Dennis. Can you post a picture for next week? I don't want the big picture. I want the picture for next week. Fine. Fine, we're gonna pick them next week. Okay, so here's the picture for next week. So obviously banks over here Fridays. We got a couple more banks on Monday morning or probably Monday after hours, and then here comes a little bit more banks again. But Interactive Brokers, Johnson & Johnson, United Airlines, Goldman Sachs, Tesla coming in Wednesday, Netflix coming in Wednesday, Morgan Stanley, another bank over there, Procter & Gamble, and then we should start getting more tech stocks. Yeah, Meta over here, probably Apple and Microsoft soon. Yeah, Microsoft, sorry, Apple right there, McDonald's. So, I mean, do I need to say more? Earnings season, ladies and gentlemen. Earnings season is obviously coming in. And this is a big, this is a quick little outlook for what's happening on the whole month of October so far. And we are getting very, very ready for all the fun catalysts and all the fun moves that the market is going to offer us on a dinner plate. And if it is Bulls Balls, you know, for those of you who didn't understand the title of today, Rocky Mountain oysters are actually bull testicles. So we're cooking up bull testicles over here, roasting them on the grill, especially if it's Free Fall Friday tomorrow. But if it's not Free Fall Friday tomorrow and we got a Rally Friday tomorrow, then we got to roast bear balls. I don't know if that makes any sense, but even if it's inside day, then we gotta really be pick and choosy with what stocks we want to trade, and most likely we'll probably focus on the bank stocks overall and trade the bank stocks. So we'll be very selective with what stocks we're going to be trading if it's an inside day. But if it's a Free Fall Friday, it's basically short any damn thing, any big tech, any stock out there, and have fun. Maybe just short the overall market itself. Based on the economic calendar, however, tomorrow we got a couple things coming out with a little bit of importance. At 8:30 we got 2-star import price index. 9 o'clock we got Fed member Harker coming out, the Michigan inflation expectations. We've seen some of these 10 o'clock numbers move the market recently, so I would not be ignoring these numbers. 10 o'clock Michigan inflation expectations number coming out, Michigan consumer sentiment number coming out, and nothing else really after that. Looks like we're pretty much dead after that. So 8:30 and 10 o'clock, a little bit of an important time period for traders and especially for the market if you're interested to see what happens. So watch out for those two time periods. Besides that, I think I'm pretty good on today's watch list, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pretty prepared for tomorrow. I think we have most of our trades that we want to be involved in over here. We're gonna find some levels over here tomorrow to trade off of. We got our backup trades always on the big tech, and just in case we don't find anything off of this, which I doubt we won't, we just have these over here because these have moved on some catalyst, which is earnings. They moved off of the earnings catalyst. So shout out to everyone who did tune in today. Hopefully you guys were able to find some trades off of my little charting session over here today happened to be a good little green day for us. That makes 3 green days in a row so far in October now. A nice little 3 green day streak for us going on. Can we wrap up Friday on the green side? And do we wrap Friday on such big of a green side where we can sway the stats and turn Friday from our worst day of the month to our best day of the month? Why am I saying month? Of the week to the best day of the week? Question mark. So looking for all the opportunities tomorrow. Wishing you guys all the best in all your trades. Wishing you guys a great night. You know, get some sleep, get some beauty rest. I'm gonna go walk my dog, get some break over here, and then come back and finish my charting, and then probably go play some CS:GO or whatever. So I'll see you guys. Actually, I forgot to say, yeah, this is the last stream of this week. For those of you who don't know, we will see you guys Monday, because tomorrow will not be coming back over here on live. You guys know all that fun stuff. Like, subscribe. All my... Why am I lagging over here? My brain's lagging. All the fun stuff in the description for my social media. If you're not already subscribed to my Twitter, my Discord channel, where we have a lot of the smartest minds in the world talking about their trades every single day over there. Come join our Discord server. We have tons of fun integrations over there, helping you with news and stuff too, so you won't be falling behind if you're you know, caught off guard on any single news catalyst. So good integrations over there, all for free on our Discord. And obviously, last but not least, my sponsors. You see them on the top left corner, usually on the full screen mode. Shout out to my sponsors. All their links are also down below. Please do check them out, as they do help me make these streams possible, right? They make these streams possible because YouTube doesn't pay me a damn dollar. YouTube don't want to pay me. But thank you for everyone who do show up every single night. I take up a good hour of your night every single day. It's because you're ripped. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. I need to stop hitting dab before going on streams. But yo, thank you for showing up to my streams as always. Hopefully I did provide you guys with some insight and with some trade opportunities for tomorrow. Have some banger trades. See you guys Monday, same time, same place. Good night. Ciao.